Yo everyone, Rick here, and welcome back to another video. You guys read the title. I got into uni, and I'm also going to be talking about some other Christmas-related things afterwards. But wow. I okay. I don't know why, but I feel so hyped right now to talk about this. I swear I wasn't this hype um when I actually got the acceptance, but I don't know why I've been feeling so much more hype recently about it. Probably because like I'm starting to accept the fact that this is real and I'm not like dreaming um and I'm actually gonna go. Wow. First of all, right, it's kind of crazy because I've been on YouTube for quite a while. I've been on YouTube before high school even. So um like if you guys scroll like very back, um the ones that have no commentary, I wasn't in high school back then. I was still in like I don't know, it was still COVID during online school. So yeah, I wasn't in high school at that time. And now the fact that I'm graduating high school and I'm gonna go to uni, that is absolutely insane to me. So wow. And it's kind of cool how like YouTube is a kind of like a lot of like moments happen on YouTube throughout these years. So I'm glad that I got to experience it and can actually document and look back at like me from like 3 years ago, no matter how cringe it was. Um, but we're not here to talk about that kind of stuff. We're here to talk about uni. Let's go. Well, okay. I still have like 5 more months of high school before I actually graduate because, well, I kind of have to um finish the school year and graduate before I can actually go to uni. But um the reason I have so much to talk about uni is because the story is actually quite funny. Um, so I don't know how many of you guys would like remember this or know this, but in September I made a video called after like going back to school or something along the lines of that, and I talked about how like the apps are absolutely insanely like annoying and like how like stressful and how like what like a crazy like emotional roller coaster. I will admit I had a crazy emotional roller coaster, but I think I'm like quite well with handling um like my emotions and stress and that kind of stuff. That I don't. Well, I've definitely had my moments during the application, but I feel like I've done quite a good job overall um with the situation. So that's good. I know many people they go insane, they have like crash out and stuff like that. But I think I did a pretty good job with it. Um, so I applied, and I'm gonna try to give as little information as possible because I'm not gonna dox myself. But if you guys know about the US system, it's pretty much a thing called early decision, which pretty much is like, oh, I love this school so much that I will be willing to do anything to get into the school, which is pretty much like, um, so you apply early, I think about like 2 months earlier than usual, maybe a little bit more. Um, and if they accept you for early decision, it means you have to go there. So this uni, um, that I'm talking about is one that I actually really wanted to get in initially, and one that I'm like one of probably like my and like my dream school. I need to stop saying probably. I need to be more confident. This was my dream school, and um and I remember applying to it, and that was that this was like the first uni I applied to because I was so like in love with this school. I don't want to make it sound weird, but I really like this school, and I was like ready to. I was like, oh, imagine how cool it would be, um, to if I were to get into the school. Now, when I did apply, I was thinking, I was like, I was super like, you know that moment when you like apply to something, but you're like not sure if you're gonna get in. Like, I was like that. I was doubting myself because like I'm gonna be real. Like, I am, I'm pretty good academically, but the people who go to this uni are like fucking cracked as shit, and I'm not cracked at all. I just like try to do well, and I'm like, and then I get along with my, and I go on with my day. you know, those are people who like literally go out of their way to do stuff, which is something that like I actually didn't do a lot like in my high school years, which which that was like the realization that I was like, wow, that's probably like the thing that would like make me a bad candidate, is the fact that like I have not gone out of my way to do um anything like, you know, anything impressive or anything like crazy like that, like especially like school, like in my school, like school related. Like I do not revise. I'm not a person who revises. Um, but I do well even without revision. So I'm not. I'm like I'm not gonna like completely discredit myself for not revising. Oh, I dropped my pearl here. I don't even know how I do that. This was like my first game on, so that's probably why. So that's why the gameplay looks so choppy. But yeah. Anyway, I had that like super doubtful like time. However, like I tried my best to just stop thinking about it and stuff like that. Um, Eventually, about, wow, I don't even know how long. Like it was a little less than a week, a little less than 2 weeks ago. When I got this application, which is why I'm making this video now, because I wanted to make it last week, but I didn't have anything to commentate over because I didn't stream last week. But um, I remember I was ill. It was a Thursday. I was feeling ill, so I didn't go to school. And that day, I had a group project. Um, and one of my one of my friends who were in that group project with me told me to told me that, oh, a lot of people got into like unis and stuff. Have you gotten anything back? And I'm like, I'm gonna be real. And then I remember responding. I was like, I'm gonna be real. I woke up at like 2 p.m. Um, and I was too ill to like do anything. I didn't do any homework. I didn't do anything. I did not check my emails. Nothing. So I remember, I was on my phone on like Insta. I was texting them, and I opened Gmail, and I see um I have an email from that university, from like, yeah, from that university, and I was like, okay, this might opening this might either ruin my day or like make it a good day. Um, However, because I was like, because I, as I said, because I'm like, I handle my emotions quite well. Um, I was just like YOLO. I didn't even I hesitated for like maybe half a second, and I opened it like pretty much immediately, and um, and then I read it, and I remember I read like the beginning of it, and I didn't understand anything. Like the first word was literally congratulations, and I didn't, for some reason, that didn't click into my head that I actually got accepted into the uni. Um, I don't know. I was just like, I was so out of it that day. And then after, like very unconfidently, because I was like, am I reading this correctly? Like, I don't believe I got in. I very unconfidently told my parents that I got in. Um, and they were super hyped. They were more hyped than me, honestly, because like, I don't know. Again, like, um, like again, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm very nonchalant, but I think that was like a moment where I felt so nonchalant. I was like, wow. And I honestly don't think that I respond I reacted this way because I was nonchalant. I think I reacted this way because I had trouble actually believing that I got in. So I was like, oh, maybe like this is a joke. Maybe I'm dreaming. Maybe like, you know, I didn't believe it. So that's why I just very unconfidently told my parents like, oh yeah, I got in. Um, but then now that like it's been almost 2 weeks, and um, now that it's been almost 2 weeks and like, wow, I really got in and like, I went back to school that day and everyone was like congratulating me. It was like once I once I remember once I realized that I got in, um I
Fuck me, man.
oh my god.
Oh my.
Sorry, I'm watching the video as well and I remember this moment so well. Um I remember I was um I remember I was checking my I remember that was right when I checked it. I opened on Insta that I posted on Insta. Pretty much Insta was pretty much where like all of my RL friends like had me, and um where they it was pretty much, yeah, all my RL friends had me on there, and um and yeah, it was crazy because um it was crazy. I got like so many DMs and stuff like that, and people congratulating me, and that was just so nice. That was such a nice feeling. I felt like famous or something um in that moment. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me. This is also the last video before Christmas and the New Year. So Merry Christmas if you celebrate, or like Happy Holidays, whatever. Um, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your 2025 and enjoy this very scuff zero, but somehow I hit it. So